Namaste, guten Tag, grüß Gott und hallo zusammen. Schön, dass Sie alle wieder dabei sind. Wir starten heute etwas früher, und zwar eine Stunde früher. Namaste, Gita Ji. Nice to have you here. We have a long program today. You can see it maybe in my background screen. So we are starting a little earlier so that we can make the program possible for today. Since we also have a panel discussion where Gita ji, I would like to welcome you around 5:50. Before that, we have one keynote and one lecture on Panchakarma. And right in the beginning, we are going to listen to a story through Yoga Vidya Center in Bad Meinberg, close to Frankfurt. Julia is heading that Ayurveda center, and we are going to listen to her. She says it's a love story between yoga and Ayurveda. So that's what we'll begin with. As the next thing at 4 o'clock, we are going to listen to Ayurveda in challenging times. How Ayurveda can help us in these challenging times like Corona by Dr. Balaji Tambe from India, from Kerala. And at around 4:45, we'll have Dr. Jeevan, who will talk about Panchakarma for treating chronic diseases. And at 5:15, we want to start with the panel discussion again on importance of Ayurveda in today's times. And then we have a yogic dance at the end around 5:45 by Deepika from Bangalore. She's going to perform a yogic dance. She's a dance as well as a yoga teacher. And around shortly before 6, we have the Consul, Mr. Ramakrishnan, here to say a few words on the whole Ayurveda day. So let me start right away with the video lecture by Julia, or her story which she would like to share here. She has a lot of classes going on, so I cannot take her live just now, but nevertheless we would watch her film. Namaskar und danke auch Julia für diesen sehr ausführlichen Vortrag. Ich hoffe, dass Sie das folgen konnten und das nicht zu leise war. Es war eine sehr interessante Kombination von, wie ich gemerkt habe, zwischen Yoga und Ayurveda und ihre Geschichte, wie sie sozusagen dazugekommen ist, auch mehr Ayurveda zu integrieren in den Yoga-Prozeduren. Das fand ich sehr interessant. Und jeder, der interessiert ist, noch mehr zu erfahren, die Julia praktiziert in Bad Meinberg auf dem Yoga Vidya Zentrum, yoga-vidya.de wäre die Webseite. Und wenn Sie spezifische Fragen haben, kann man im Chat-Window reinschreiben. Ich gebe sie gerne weiter an die Julia weiter. Wir haben ja viele Programmpunkte, wie ich vorhin angekündigt habe. Wir haben heute auch noch einen Highlight sozusagen vorher, bevor die Panel-Diskussion kommt. Wir haben Shri Guru Balaji Tambe eingeladen, der in Indien einen Kurzentrum leitet, und zwar seit 40 Jahren.
Dann starten wir mal.
So ein Moment, ich muss das ja beenden.
Ganz herzlich willkommen heute zum dritten Teil unserer kleinen Reihe zur Stärkung in diesen schwierigen Zeiten.
Okay, gut, Verzeihung. Das war scheinbar noch der Film, lief im Hintergrund auf YouTube. Das tut mir leid. Ich habe viele Grüße bekommen von verschiedenen Institutionen, insbesondere auch aus Indien, von dem AYUSH-Ministerium. Wir haben am Ende einen Keynote von dem Gesundheitsministerium aus Indien, den wir hören werden, hoffentlich live. Und zwar geht es darum, dass wir so eine Aktivität wie Ayurveda hier begleiten. Und heute ist ja Ayurveda-Tag oder Dhanvantari-Tag, deshalb wünsche ich erstmal schon mal, nutze ich die Gelegenheit, allen ein Happy Diwali zu wünschen, Happy Dhanvantari-Tag zu wünschen. Und wir starten mit dem zweiten Film bzw. Keynote-Film. Es geht um das Thema Ayurveda in challenging times oder in einer Bedeutung von Ayurveda in eine wichtige Zeit wie heute. Nicht nur bezogen auf Corona, sondern als ganzheitliches Konzept. Und da freue ich mich ganz, ganz toll um Dr. Tambe, der jetzt wahrscheinlich das heute Morgen aufgenommen hat und uns den Film zur Verfügung gestellt hat. So, dann schaue ich mal, dass ich das hier gleich auch wieder aktiv kriege. So, Film geht los.
We were discussing about some simple things to prevent all these viruses and pandemics, but when we surely know that this particular virus is affecting our immunity, our T cells or whatever in the body, and it is affecting our lungs, then we have to select some more herbs which are medicinal herbs, or maybe they are herbs which are generally not consumed every day. For example, Nagarmotha is there, or Pushkar Mood is there, then Kantakari, Gulvel I have said already. So these herbs are not eaten every day. But I tell you, those who are afraid that they cannot digest sugar properly, and then the sugar remains in the blood, and afterwards you start saying that you have diabetes. So this Gulvel, a small piece, so much, and is taken, cut, little bit it and put it in the water, 4 cups, and boil up to 1 cup, and drink this decoction every day. So this will, you can experience, we just have to experience first, and then we will believe, because otherwise we say how it will work and what happens. And when we make a tea, these normal things are surely there, that maybe ginger you can add still more or something, cardamom you can take, turmeric you can take, but certain herbs are necessary. So when we design a medicine for this particular virus at this pandemic, and we want to cure, or we want to first think that whatever, wherever you go and whichever part you are living, it should not affect you. You never get affected at all, and for that then we design the medicine. I mean, the tea we design, it is not a medicine, it is again a tea, but we use other herbs. Sometimes we use 13 herbs, 11 herbs, and then we produce something like a nectar tea or some formula tea, and this we have to take every day. And one experience I am telling you, we have a community and 100 people or more are living in this particular campus, and other 200 people are totally almost 350 people, others are outside, and many people go and they have to do the work. Since the pandemic day till today, nobody get affected, and we are working, our production is working, patients are there, Panchakarma is going on, everything is happening. How? The first day when we had a doubt that something is coming in February, we started making a tea. When we know now what was coming, what is come, this pandemic, this COVID or whatever the name they can give, we started adding and herbs which are necessary for this particular virus, and it is working. Nothing happened. Even we did research like some work were given to 100 patients, and look what is happening. So this can be done, we can say Ayurveda. I was talking about food. Naturally, there is something like Vata, Pitta, Kapha. People say that what is my constitution? It is meant for not the patient to understand what is his constitution, what is his constitution. It is for the one aspect for the doctor. We want to have a good health. Samadosha. Dosha is disturbance. There are 7, no? Vata, Pitta, Kapha, then pairs of this, and all together, all 3 disturbed, Sandipataja or whatever we can say. Now, we have these 7, and we have to find out that how this is imbalanced. Now, the imbalance can take place due to season, due to the part of the day, when you change the climate, when you change the country or the places from one place to another which is totally different, having atmosphere, the constitution, the body will start reacting differently. When the child is born, depending on the father and mother and the time of conception, when the child was conceived, it will decide that this child is a Vata, possibilities of Vata dosha, means the child has possibility that immediately he will disturb the Vata balance or Pitta balance or Kapha balance. Okay. In the childhood, always the child has to grow, so the Kapha is produced more, but it should not become a dosha. Then in the young age, when we work and we have to be dynamic and the fire we need, Pitta will increase. So we take in such a way that we balance Pitta and keep. So when the person with Pitta constitution, his skin is red and all these symptoms are sometimes there, or the pulse can tell us, and then we say that you are a Pitta constitution person, not that Pitta dosha person, and please take care in these ways, so the Pitta will not disturb. And the Kapha dosha is same, Vata Pitta dosha is same, Vata is same. But not only this, the early morning, afternoon Pitta, morning is Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Vata, Pitta, 2 cycles in a day. Is one cycle, in the night it is a one cycle. Now if you eat in a particular time which is increasing Pitta, or is a Pitta's dominance, then you will increase more Pitta, or if you don't digest, then you will have another problem. So one is Samadosha, Samagnischa. Agni is the hormonal system. Agni is very important property. We call it the main wealth of our universe, and this Agni we have to maintain. The main first start with the Jathara Agni, means digestive fire, which is there already as it is. All hormones, they are there by itself. You are not going to have a tablet and increase or decrease or all this. So the Agni is to be maintained, and this is really has a complete diagnosis. You have to take a long proper advice from a Vaidya, and then you can say that okay, this is I can balance now. And as the same, it doesn't remain constant from every minute to minute, it can change minute to minute. From morning till night, the Agni or the hormones, they work differently. Now the Agni is also not only working with hormones and on the body physically, but it is also giving rise to the psychological things. So when you see something, or when you are jealous, or when you are having sex ideas or some fight ideas, different hormones they secrete when they start working, and that also can create an imbalance, and that is to be seen. Samagnisha, Samadhatu. Body has some, when you eat the food, first it is converted into a palatable in the body. First of all, it can go in the body, rasabhav we say, and this is nice. And without rasabhav, we will not shine, or the body elasticity will lose and everything. It is necessary, but if it is a wrong rasabhav, then the wrong rasa, you have eaten something wrong, then the problem will come there only. Then it is converted into blood, blood to flesh, flesh to fat, fat to bones, bones to bone marrow, and after bone marrow, then it is a very beautiful, like the diesel oil is black and solid, almost like thick, and then when you filter, then afterwards it becomes a very fine aviation fuel. So you just keep here, you will see the blue fumes, it will disappear. The body develops virya. Virya is the strength. If you have virya, properly, your immunity is strong. So when we talk about increasing immunity in the pandemic time, we should also see that we take something which will increase our immunity. You understand? So when the immunity is more, then the virya is more, and virya is used in everything. If the car is going or not, if it is standing and it is running, engine is running, petrol is used. If it goes, more petrol is used. And if 2 more people sit in the car, still it is the consumption will increase. It is not only a standard or you can save petrol. So virya is same. You have activities, you can do everything, but in proportion, how much virya you have, accordingly you use it. Also, when somebody becomes old, then On the highways, like there are boards that after now 100 kilometers you will find the petrol pump. So, your car must go up to 100 kilometers. So, the virya becomes less, the digestion becomes less, and that time there are rasayan. We always have to take. After 50s, rasayan is sure, and nowadays with the stress and the entire lifestyle, people should take rasayan at the age of 35, 40 only. And women also, it is not man and woman there is any difference. The women have to be more sensitive, their hormonal system is more sensitive, and they have to take care of really their body more, because there is a different system of a different hormone which is working on them, and keeping them beautiful, keeping them nice in the skin, in the hair and all this, and also having a possibility to have a child. So, they have a difference. You have a child, you want child or not is not a question. You must remain healthy if you are a woman, you must healthy remain if you are a man. So, samadosha, samagnischa, samadhatu. So, all these 7, if your bones, you have not taken care in the food that they support bone, the food support bone, then what will happen? There will be osteoporosis. The women particularly, they have this because they stand more, they are sensitive and they are working with the fire or whatever, and the blood loss is there every month. So, naturally they get osteoporosis more than the men. But it is not a rule like this, it is a little judgment, it is 2018, it is not a very big difference. Everybody can develop. Once the osteoporosis is there, we have a patient whose bone was broken and the doctor wanted to put a plate, but the screws were not holding because the bones were all gone almost inside, it is soft, a powder inside. So, the bones, like that I am saying that bone marrow, every dhatu means these 7 ingredients, they need different type of food, and that food you can digest at different times and different constitution people. So, we have to Ayurveda therefore say, why there are 3 medicines, 4 medicines, 7 medicines? I said there are medicines, same problem. But one person will give this, other person will give this. It is not same. If you are coughing also or you have cold also, we can, one person get this powder, other person get this, or this gets syrup, or this gets honey medicine. Why? Because it depends on how their dhatus are, how their constitution is. So, that is to be taken care. Just do not make Ayurveda so simple. People start telling, now I know Ayurveda lot because I know Vata Pitta Kapha. Vata Pitta Kapha is a little part. Ayurveda is telling you constitution and whatever that substance is, what it has, what is the possibility when you eat, what happens in your body of this substance, and such books the Rishis have made research and written. Everything we can tell you. And the rice which is growing in the rainy season, what are the qualities? The rice growing in Maharashtra, the rice growing in Lanka, the rice growing in Ceylon, or the rice growing in North India, or the dry climate. Everything has a different constitution, and then we are just saying, I do not like rice, I eat rice, I do not, which rice? So, this is very important. All dhatus we have to support, samadhatu and malakriya. You have to see that the body is throwing, when the body removes the impurities or after digestion, after taking the essence of that food, whatever can be digested and necessary for these 7 dhatus and all this, whatever the remaining stool has to go out, urination should be always nice. If you are having a particular constitution, perspiration should be nice. All this one has to understand. So, samadhatu malakriya, and now prasanna atmendriyaha. Indriya should be prasanna. Prasanna in the sense what? That now I have this age. At this age my eyes should be able to see. With a little help, maybe because the lenses they little get distorted or maybe thick, or it is possible. So, maybe I can put some glass, but basically the seeing capacity is fine. The number is little, but very accurate, I can see everything. Because the inside mechanism of seeing is okay. I can hear, there is no problem. My teeth are all original from my birth time in the child age which comes. So I say touch wood, it should all remain, but by only touching wood not. You have to maintain this, and then the indriyas, means all the senses, will be able to enjoy the faculty which they are supposed to. Means my nose should smell, and that should remain up to last. My brain should think, my brain should give the program, my brain should conceive, my brain does everything. He has a communication capacity to somewhere to the other planet also, but that faculty it must develop and keep properly till I am alive, means till 100 years when is normal life, or 120 even sometimes. But nowadays we can say 100. So 100 years it should remain, and then the indriyas are prasanna. Prasanna, atmendriya. Atma what? When the indriyas they work properly, there is a satisfaction for an entity. You change my name, Balaji, but by eating a particular fruit, I get wow, satisfied. This will not change, no? Because this is related to my soul, my identity or my existence inside, and therefore this is very important to understand, and depending on that we plan our food. I talked about food in this pandemic. One thing I will tell, that in this time, please don't eat anything heavy in the night. Please don't eat anything which is not suitable for your constitution, and that you, if you get a doctor, it is good, Vaidya, somebody Ayurvedic doctor will tell you, but otherwise you please mark yourself that that day I ate in this restaurant and this pizza or whatever, this pasta or something, and I had little problem that night, my sleep was not so very good, or 2-3 days then it was little pain in the hips or pain in the back or something. So you mark it that this substance, whenever I eat, this happens. So discard them. The another thing is that please do exercise, and any exercise you do, yoga is very easy. And if you do yoga or exercise, pranayam, breathing. Now if you learn breathing or do deep inhaling, exhaling. How you do? By using the bellow of the belly. The belly should be pressing and expanding. So when I say exhale, then my belly is going out in, so that the air goes out, and when I say inhale, everything is full now, like a balloon, and then this at least you can do. Dirgha pranayam, there dirgha shvasan you can do, you can control otherwise if you want, but by simply sitting, this is, till the time you are doing pranayam, let this corona or whatever is there, look, you are making a smoke, you are taking some tea or some medicine now because this second, third wave is going on, some decoction properly designed. It is not just to say kada you take, some decoction you take, and tulsi or this lemongrass and pudina or cardamom and all such things, cinnamon, this doesn't work. It has to be designed as a proper answer for this corona. This you take. Food you eat nice, which you like and which you digest, so that you remain stronger. Don't increase weight. If you digest, the weight will not increase. If you indigest, the weight comes from indigestion. And in the night, if you take soup and sleep, if you take light food, some days at least in a week, 2-3 days, then sleep properly, and you will find that by doing such things, you can stop almost corona. And the percentage, somebody said there is a vaccine which is 90% working. I said this method is 99% working. Oh, 99? I said 1% I keep because maybe there is something, and sometimes people say, yes, I take this decoction morning, evening, I eat very less, and when we live with him for 3 days, we say, oh no, you are not doing anything. Only these 3 days. But like that, 3 days can come every time. So discipline is very important. And then it is something, virus means what? It goes through our unknowingly inside the body, it can attack. It is very micro. The another thing is that it has got also a program inside, and it has particularly come because of our mistakes. We did not care the nature. we were insulting the nature. Not care is different, but we were insulting the nature. We started going towards wrong lifestyles which are almost like animal lifestyles, and we forgot that we are all together. It is just not necessary to fight. It is important that we can look, something is bad and that we can remove. Now, if I go to a rose plant, here it is okay, thorns are there, but it are not hurting, so I can hold. But if the rose plant, I have to take care, no, the thorns are there. So when I take a rose, the thorn should not. So something is bad, but that doesn't mean therefore we remove all the rose plants from my garden. So good and bad things are there. We have to look how to accommodate this and live together, all enjoy the life together. So we can surely overcome this pandemic by using masks, keeping safe distances. Maybe you get a vaccine, or all this you can do, or this Ayurvedic way you can do, but the main thing is we need to bring a big revolution which is changing us to human being again, and our behavior should be very loving and compassionate, and then only it will work. Now this idea I am telling you, it is not going to change. For that we need action module. Acharo paramo dharma means what? Our main nature is that we learn by activities. Our cells, they must put into activities. This you do. If you learn something, you can read a book and you cannot play sitar. You can play a book and you cannot sing. It is necessary to practice and give habit to things. Or the wrestler to do wrestling, then or boxing, then they need practice. These muscles must learn. That you cannot just say that I should move like this. They need, the cells need to learn. And therefore, we started here one project when this pandemic came, which is called Life in Balance. What is Life in Balance? Lifeinbalance.in. You can open the site and look what is Life in Balance, and there are modules. You register yourself, join together and change yourself. Don't have fear. At least the fear will immediately go and things will start changing in your life, and then automatically you start getting the advantage of these Ayurvedic advices, and you will be saved. So that all means the pandemic will not disturb you, and I hope so, I wish so, and I am sure about it. So please understand what Ayurveda is in more details, join this Life in Balance movement and enjoy the life. Thank you.
Wir haben noch einen zweiten Film gleich und danach kommt Dr. Jeevan. Ich sehe ihn schon live. Hallo Dr. Jeevan, nice to see you. Hold on, you cannot see me. So, namaste.
Hello.
Nice to have you here. We have one more small film and then you'll be on.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Namaste. Congratulations for such a webinar where we are trying to understand a very, very, very ancient and natural healing system, Ayurveda. Before that, I must wish you a very happy Deepavali, and particularly the day when we worship our God of Ayurveda, Dhanvantari. He is a teacher, he is a healer, he is a doctor. And we must remember him when we are practicing this science. The main thing, or the first question has come, that Ayurveda and Corona, how they go together. I would say that if people would have understood Ayurveda and practiced, Corona would not come. when we know that when suppose the winter is finished earlier and the summer starts, all of a sudden there are different insects, or the trees, they behave differently. Every time when there are certain storms and something like this, which is not good for the mankind, then afterwards there are pandemics. And this is happening, and the first thing which Ayurveda would say is Janapadodvasa, means that when people would not live as a human being, but they will go back, or it spreads the style of living like an animal. And particularly, they would not live as a complete global community, at least a community of the country or community of a small society. But they look after each other, help each other, and they have some love which become active, compassion which become active, and ready to help everybody without having any selfish relationship or attachment. When this happens, there is a corruption, or the wars come, and so on, so many things happen. And therefore, it would bring a Janapadodvasa, means destruction of the society, destruction of the places where people live, or the rivers will misbehave, the wind will misbehave, the sun will heat more, and so on. Or storms will come, fire will take place. Now, as an after effect or simultaneously something in the atmosphere, because as we agree that the world is not only a physical matter, but it is wave which is the origin, and everything is the waveform. And naturally, we are also having a particular waveform, and our thoughts surely, our behavior surely produce certain waves which may not be complementary, which may not be in harmony with the natural waves for good living or having good energy, and then they collide and start destruction or give rise to such pandemics. So, this is first the reason, and therefore, I would say that we will find something, we are wearing masks, we are keeping self distances, or maybe we wash our hands, feet and all this. We will find a vaccine, but still the reason remains, and till the reason remains, then we keep on saying that it is the first wave, second wave, third wave and so on. So, ultimately slowly, even the intensity decreases, it will remain permanently, and it is sometime a disease which is producing more terror, more fear, which is very detrimental to our living, because the suction of the life force, we know that since I make movements, there must be energy, and from where I get this energy? From the food. But how it transforms into this action. So, body is a mechanism which will allow to get the pranic energy from the atmosphere and make it possible energy, a kind of energy which will be useful for human life and human living. So, everywhere there is a prana, we call prana is that life force. Prana is there, but we know that if there is a fault in the mechanism, like somebody has asthma, then he is not able to take that, and he has he has to somehow suck something. It will automatically come if our body is in harmony or our thoughts are good and so on. So, when we have such difficulties or problems, the fear, then we shrink, the cells contract, they try to Like we are sitting in our houses, that if we go out and in the crowds, there will be a problem. But then we cannot work, then we cannot communicate, and these problems are there. Same thing, body is a different city, body is a different town, and there are the citizens of cells and their mechanisms, their gathering. They are organized in a particular way, that there are lungs, heart, kidneys and so on. So, they all but work together. If anything happens to our intestine, it will affect the kidney, heart and so on. If something goes wrong with the heart, it will affect the other parts of the body. And this is a completely balanced system, and the same system, when it breaks, there is a problem. Same thing happens in the society outside, and then we have big difficulties. So, the fear is our real enemy, and sometimes the answer for the fear is and was, earlier people developed this idea that this pranic force must be coming from some source, and this source is unknown, cannot be seen. So far, the modern science or whosoever, we have sent our rockets, and aeroplanes are always going up, rockets are going much distance, but they have not found any such entity or a source from where this radiation comes of the pranic energy. So, it is not there, but with the effect we understand it is there, and then we try to communicate, because when it is there, the wave communication, the thought wave communication is possible, and we say, "O Almighty, O God." Where is God? The God is not for seen, it is to understand by effects that we are alive, and then we say, manage something. So, this trust it develops, that we have a trust that somewhere something is very big and it supports our life and he can help. And this trust slowly goes, then the problem comes. This also is given, these are Ayurvedic principles. I am not telling you any mythology or philosophy. So, this is one. Then the medicines. Before that, I would say a natural lifestyle. And what happens? We need our immunity, we need nice breathing, and we nice other fight for the infections which come from the atmosphere, and simple things we always use. As we know, this is a plant which is growing in India, tulsi. We have more sun, so it is very strong, and it is sometimes one can see they are all these black stems. And here, if you go to cold countries, it becomes basilicum. It is a very delicate thing, and it is not that strong smell, very nice smell, and properties are almost same, but this is very strong. So, even if a plant is standing in front of the door, or if there are many plants and you sit, you find the effect, because it stops the virus, it stops every bad thing, the bad waves, and it is giving us a very, what I will say, strong immunity. Same thing, then we add this in a water, made a little decoction, maybe sometime this lemongrass, anti-inflammatory, this grows everywhere, available everywhere, and these are not expensive things, they are for anti-allergic this also, and we can use it every day. Then there is a mint, anti-infection again, and it is helping the balance of our lung, our colons and so on. So, colitis can be treated, and this is giloy, and this is a really very good plant which is increasing immunity, and it is giving strength to the cells and arranges the body in its natural form, because whenever there is a disorder, there is scattering, and this makes problem in the body. So, it brings it again together. Like this it is there, we take tea, Ayurvedic. This is Ayurvedic when you understand that what we want and what it does, and then we take the benefit. It is not some go in the market and say, give me some herbal tea, and maybe cumin seeds or something like this we bring, or mint and make a tea. No, not like this. Ayurveda defines that what is the requirement and what is the property you should look. Every day in the whole world, practice has come which allows you to burn this vairok, we can say dhoop, or say it's a mixture of the trees, gums, and this gives a very beautiful smell also. But this is nothing. This has a microparticle. It spreads in the house, and therefore you can take it here, there, and then it is. Now you must have seen that yes, it was done in the houses, it was done in the prayer places, temples, and so on. And it is very, very ancient system. And a particular virus, particular herbs, we burn. And every day as a practice, we burn this dhoop in the house and make the smoke morning, evening, or at least in the evening. We have this experience. We follow Ayurveda, so we use it, and we have experience. And if you want more some a specific thing, then there are specific dhoops also. So there are dhoops for specific requirement for the children, for asthmatic people, from bronchial people, or when somewhere it looks like that the difficulties are not understood, then there are different smokes. Why not we do this? And Ayurveda practice starts there. We say lifestyle. Lifestyle means what? Ultimately, how we live. It is good always that we get up early and all these habits. But the main thing is that we should now come to food which we eat to suit our constitution. Not only we eat the food which is good for our taste and tongue and eyes. Mostly we say something and say, wow, yummy, yummy. Eyes have appreciated, but the food is not for eyes. The food is for every cell of the body, and therefore we should know what is our constitution and so on. Thank you.
So, vielen, vielen Dank, dass wir diesen Film bekommen haben, oder beide Filme. Das waren 2 Kinos. Wir wollten eigentlich das live machen, aber nach den gestrigen technischen Problemen, wo wir gedacht haben, die Bandbreite wird ja aufgebraucht, ganz massiv, weil alle wahrscheinlich im Homeoffice sind, und dann hat die Internetverbindung nicht überall so schnell funktioniert gestern. Deshalb haben wir das aufgenommen bekommen. Ich habe auch gerade parallel eine Nachricht bekommen vom Konsulat. Das heißt, die haben auch eine aufgenommene Nachricht für nachher geschickt. Ich freue mich jetzt, Dr. Jeevan zu begrüßen in unserem Forum heute, dass er bei Ayurveda Tage, sage ich jetzt einfach, Ayurveda Day, heute uns einen schönen Vortrag halten würde, beziehungsweise eine Information. Er hat mir gesagt, als ich ihn gefragt habe, kannst du bitte was überlegen, dass der bei Ayurveda Tag eingeladen ist, mitmacht. Da hat er mir ein Thema genannt, wo ich gedacht habe, ja, das wird ja mehr Zeit brauchen, aber ich musste ihm leider dazu zwingen, das sein sehr interessantes Thema auf halbe Stunde zu komprimieren. Ich hoffe, dass es kein großer Schaden für uns ist dadurch, aber er ist ja in der Nähe von München, das heißt, unter Ayurveda Care leitet er das Zentrum. Soweit ich weiß, in den 90er Jahren, seit 90er Jahren ist er hier, praktiziert er Ayurveda. Er ist Bachelor für Ayurveda Medizin und Surgery, das heißt, er ist ein ayurvedischer Arzt aus Indien. Und wir haben viel von dir in den letzten Ayurveda-Tage und Yoga-Tage gesehen. Und ich freue mich sehr, dass du auch nachher bei der Panel-Diskussion dabei bist, Jeevan. Das ist sehr erfreulich. Und ja, du sprichst heute über Panchakarma-Treatment, insbesondere für chronische Krankheiten. Und willst du den Vortrag in Deutsch oder Englisch halten? Soll ich zwischendurch was übersetzen, oder ist es okay, wenn...
Ja, ich denke, ich spreche in Deutsch, wenn manchmal du kannst auch helfen mir. Manche Wörter ist ein bisschen schwierig, ne? Aber ja, okay, gut. Aber ich probieren. Gut.
Alles
So,
klar. Der Bühne gehört dir.
So, Namaskar, Namaste, Grüß Gott. So, you can hear me, no, Sanjay ji?
Yes, absolutely clear. Absolutely clear. Yes.
Yeah, you can hear. Okay, good then. Yeah, so heute's Thema ist Panchakarma für Krankheiten. Okay, Panchakarma kann auch für Beugung und also für Krankheiten. Aber ich bin mehr interessiert für die Krankheiten, für die Helfen. Because we have so viele Krankheiten hier. Meine eine Spezialität ist Multiple Sklerose polyarthritis, psoriasis, so viele Krankheiten, we can helfen mit Ayurveda. Aber vor dem das, ich möchte sagen, zwei verschiedene gute Themen heute. Warum ist der WHO habe mit Prime Minister Narendra Modi habe gesprochen heute, dass eine Center for Traditional Medicine muss establisieren in Indien. Das ist heute eine spezielle Thema from WHO. So we have a traditional center for medicine in India. Und langsam, India is the world of pharmacy and the world of wellness. So two things. So Narendra Modi is our Prime Minister is so pride for this Spezialität. Das ist eine. Und das zweite Thema ist morgen the indische Ayurveda doctors. Das bedeutet der Fachgesellschaft from Ayurveda doctors in Deutschland. Wir launching, wir Eröffnung einen Verein für Ayurveda doctors. So das bedeutet ungefähr 60 Ayurveda doctors are in Deutschland, in verschiedene Orte, in Hamburg bis München. Und das ist für deutsche Publik, habe eine seriöse Ayurveda-Angebot kann ist möglich. Warum ist es nicht nur eine Hokuspokus Ayurveda, aber eine richtige Ayurveda-Behandlungen oder eine Sprechstunde, alles ist möglich, langsam. Das ist ganz interessant. 60 Ayurveda-Leute, Ayurveda-Doctors, was immer irgendwo in Hause gesitzt, aber jetzt kommt alle, ist langsam wach geworden. Okay, thank you. So can I share the Panchakarma, the slides, or?
Yes, sure. So there is a button for you.
Okay, share. Okay, good.
Here, yes.
Yeah. So good. So this is a small, what you call slideshow. A kleine Slideshow, so then Sie kann ein bisschen mehr verstehen, was ist eine ayurvedische Panchakarma oder der Konzept. So wie Dr. Balaji Tambe hat gesprochen, unsere Gesundheit ist from the Agni, the Verdauungsfeuer, the Jataragni. From the Verdauungsfeuer ist ganz richtig und gut. Then we have 7 Gewebe. Das was the plasma, the blood, the Fleisch, Muskel, Fett, Knochenmark und the Fortpflanzen. So diese spezielle Thema, spezielle Konsequenz oder diese Ordnungen ist ganz speziell in Ayurveda, because when we studieren Schulmedizin, zum Beispiel wir können heute studieren Blut, morgen wir können studieren Central Nervous System, übermorgen kann Adipose System, so das ist keine Linie. Aber Ayurveda hat gesagt, gibt eine chronologische, eine Linie from the Verdauungsfeuer bis unsere 7 Gewebe. So das ist ganz richtig. Wenn der 7. Gewebe fortpflanzen, das ist mehr fein, wie Dr. Balaji Tambe hat gesprochen, jetzt, das sind mehr fein. Aber wenn wir haben kleine Krankheiten anfangen, ist in unserem Verdauungstrakt, und dann kommt in der Plasma, dann kommt in der Blut, dann kommt in der Muskel, Fett. So, das ist so langsam Krankheit entwickelt in unserem Körper. So this you can auch lesen. So the erste Gewebe ist Rasa. Wenn wir haben eine Nahrungsessenz, ist ganz richtig. Alle 7 Gewebe ist richtig. So unsere Nahrung ist ganz richtig für alle 7 Gewebe muss aufbauen. Okay, then the gleiche ist der Ama. So wenn der Ama oder der unverdauliche Sachen kann eine mentale Toxin sein oder eine physikale Toxin sein. Wenn wir sagen Toxin, Schulmedizin immer lacht, was ist Toxin? Aber wir können auch sagen, der Endotoxin oder Exotoxin in Schulmedizin ist auch Ama. Oder die ganzen Werte in unserem Blut, Cholesterin ist hoch, Triglycerin ist hoch, verschiedene Sachen ist mehr, das so, wir können sagen, eine Toxin. So, egal what, whatsoever, this is the ama summed in our copper, and the ama mark the krankheiten. That was the Sanskrit amaya, bedeutet krankheiten. Wir immer falsch benutzt Vata Pitta Kapha. Wir sagen, Vata muss reinigen, Pitta muss reinigen, Kapha muss reinigen. Das ist ganz falsche Idee. Wenn du reinigst Vata Pitta Kapha, dann wir are tot. Vata Pitta Kapha ist unsere Funktionen. So Vata Pitta Kapha ist immer zusammen amalgamisiert oder kommt zusammen mit der Ama. Das ist die Krankheit. Wir müssen der Ama reduzieren. Wir müssen der Ama reinigen. So, Vata Pitta Kapha Reinigung ist eine falsche Idee. In der einen Seite, Vata Pitta Kapha gibt auch nicht. Alle, oh, was ist das, Dr. Jeevan sagt? Okay, Vata Pitta Kapha ist ein Term, einen Namen gegeben für verschiedene Eigenschaften. So, wenn eine Trockenheit ist da, wir sagen, ist Vata. Wenn es ein bisschen oilig, dann wir sagen, ist Pitta. Mehr oilig, das ist Kapha. So gibt es Eigenschaften. Und wenn die Eigenschaften ist mehr oder wenig, dann kommt die Krankheiten. Oder der Ama. Ama bedeutet nicht mein. That is not mine. Das ist Ama. Und das wir muss reinigen. Mental oder physikal. Gut. Then, the Ursache für jede Krankheiten ist Anfang von der Geist, the mental, the space and thoughts, desires, the Wunsch, ohne Ende der Wunsch. So das kann viel sein. I do not have a space. You have a bad space. I have no space for you. Ich habe keinen Raum. You see, immer wir denken diese Sachen. Meine Space, mein Raum ist benutzt. Ich habe keinen Platz mehr. So this Ärger, Frustrationen und alles bringt so viele emotionale Krankheiten in den Geist und dann langsam das produziert in den Körper, psychosomatisch. Und das kann ein Fastfood sein, Stress sein, Bewegungsmangel, Mangel from religious practices, Drogen, Mangel from Liebe. So gibt es multikausal Thema für eine Krankheit. Das ist nicht nur Virus oder Bakterien oder das nicht, das ist multikausal. So, Ama oder Schlacken, wir können sagen. Und dann, das ist in der Physikale, ist in der Magen. So, wenn der Magen ist, Ama ist produziert oder unverdauliche, dann der Agni reduziert und der Ama kommt mehr. Ama ist immer kalt, dull, schwer und Flüssigkeit zum Beispiel. Denn der Ama passiert from the Verdauungstrakt bis die 7 Gewebe. Wenn der Verdauungstrakt ist der Krankheiten, denn wir haben Durchfall, Colitis ulcerosa, Dickdarmkrebs, Magenschleimhautproblem, gibt viele Krankheiten. Wenn das ist unterdrückt mit Schulmedizin, dann das kommt in der Plasma. Dann kommt Fieber oder dann in Blut, Hautkrankheiten oder Myom, Diabetes, Rheuma. So gibt die Krankheiten langsam entwickelt in den 7 Gewebe. So Ayurveda sagt, es gibt nur eine Krankheit, nur Ama. Und der Ama entwickelt in jeder Krankheit in verschiedene Menge. Das ist so viele Krankheiten. Wir haben 7000 Symptome und 7000 Pflanzen. So wir müssen denken, der Ayurveda ist komplex. Das ist nicht so einfach. Und jetzt ist in der ganzen Welt oder in Deutschland, wir benutzen Ayurveda wie ein bisschen Neem, bisschen Ashwagandha, bisschen Shankupushpi, bisschen Tulasi. Das ist nur Kräutermedizin. Das ist keine Ayurveda. Ayurveda ist komplex und wir müssen produzierende Präparate oder kombinierende Pflanzen, was ist gut für jede Krankheit in jede Gewebe. So das ist richtig Logic, Mathematical ein Programm. No? Das ist nicht so einfach. Okay, denn jede Gewebe hat verschiedene Krankheiten. Ich habe nur Fieber gesprochen in der Plasma, aber Anorexia, Schwergefühl, Übelkeit, Erbrechen, gibt viele Krankheiten. Von der Blut kommt Hautirritationen, Psoriasis, Infektionen oder in der Muskel kommt Myom, Zysten. So jede Gewebe ist 10 Jahre. So wenn du bist 30 Jahre, the Muskel muss aufpassen. Wenn du 40 Jahre, der Fett muss beachten. Wenn it's 50 Jahre, then the Knochen, Osteoporose, Arthritis. So immer the Krankheit is entwickelt from eine to the next day. Then it's Knochenmark. When you are sick oder sick, ja, aufpassen mit deiner Gehirn, Central Nervous System, Epilepsy oder Alzheimer oder Hirntumor und alles ist so. This alles ist, wir müssen zurückbringen die Krankheiten into the Verdauungstrakt. So nachdem der ayurvedische Diagnose, der Ama muss mobilisieren und das muss zurückbringen in den Verdauungstrakt. So das ist nicht so einfach. Nicht nur eine Sprechstunde und ein bisschen Kräuterpräparate genommen oder ein bisschen Bauchmassage gemacht oder das, dann kommen diese Krankheiten zurück. No, ich habe auch gehört in verschiedenen Seminaren Bauchmassage gemacht und dann der Kinderwunsch gekommen. Das alles kann ein Glück sein. Aber das brauchen ein Protokoll, das ist langere Zeit. Wie die Krankheiten ist entwickelt in der Körper, die gleiche 2 bis 3 Wochen, wir brauchen eine Panchakarma für Reinigung. Dennoch mit einem Panchakarma, du kannst nicht heilen, du kannst ein bisschen reduzieren und stoppen die Krankheiten. Für mich, eine MS-Patientin sitzt im Rollstuhl, ist eine Challenge für der Patient muss laufen. So, das ist eine Challenge. Das ist der Ayurveda-Doktor oder Ayurveda-Medizin. No? Nicht nur Kleinigkeiten, eine Porridge gegessen, eine Frühstück gemacht oder heißes Wasser getrunken. Das alles ist ganz, ganz primitiv, Ayurveda. Wir alle denken, dass wir haben 7,5 Jahre studiert in der Universität, ist nur ein Spaß oder wir haben nur eine Massage gelernt. Das ist ein größeres Medizinsystem. Und das muss establieren in jedes Land, denn wir können reduzieren viele Medizins und viele Krankheiten. So der Panchakarma bedeutet, du bringst zurück die Krankheiten von der jeder Gewebe zurück in der Verdauungstrakt und dann mit Abfuhren für der Pitta, Erbrechen für der Kapha, Einlauf. Einlauf ist auch eine falsche Bedeutung. Einlauf ist verschiedene Kombinationen von Pflanzen. Zum Beispiel, das ist eine Anorectal Medicines. Anorectal Medicines, Medikamente in der Anorectal Kanal. Das ist der richtige Wort für Einlauf. Nicht nur eine Wassereinlauf oder Kaffeeeinlauf, das ist kein Ayurveda. Wir haben 100 verschiedene Kombinationen für Einlauf. Wir haben für MS ist Fleischsuppe Einlauf mit verschiedenen Kräutern. Wir haben so viele Einlauf gibt in Ayurveda. Warum ist Dickdarm? Ist auch in Schulmedizin, wir denken, Dickdarm, wie der Dickdarm, der Bakterien, das ist der Gehirn. Parkinson, MS, alles ist von der Dickdarm-Bakterien Gedanken. No, das ist auch in Max Planck und alles ist neue Forschungsprogramm ist da. So, this is eine Spezialität of Ayurveda, Medikamente in Dickdarm. No? Good. So then, this is a mathematical puzzle of Ayurveda and disease, Krankheiten. So we have a Verdauungstrakt, we have the 7 Gewebe, we have the vitale organs or the vital Punkt 107, and then we have the mind, psychology. So 4 plots we have Krankheiten can kommen. So Ayurveda have 7,000 symptoms to can bring in this puzzle, in this mathematical puzzle, zum Beispiel. So this is jede Krankheit, wenn wir diagnostizieren, wir müssen das bringen, das ist in der Verdauungstrakt oder in der welche Gewebe oder welche in der Vitalorgan und was sind die Eigenschaften von der Krankheiten und wie ich kann mit einer Kräuterkombination kann heilen. Und wir brauchen nicht nur die indische Kräuter oder Ashwagandha und Neem. Wir haben so viele Pflanzen hier in Deutschland, aber wir müssen lernen, was ist die Eigenschaften auf jede Pflanze. Wir wissen, Valerian ist gut für Schlafstörungen, aber Valerian wir geben in Tablettenform. Aber wenn das Schlafstörungen ist eine Vata-Krankheiten, eine trockene Krankheiten. Aber wenn wir machen eine Valerian Oil und eine Shirodhara gemacht, das ist mehr wunderbar than eine Kapseln. Schon mal, auch in Ayurveda, jetzt ist in der moderne Ayurveda in Deutschland ist, wir haben Ashwagandha Kapsel, Shatavari Kapsel, alle Kapseln und Tabletten. Ich bin ein Ayurveda-Doktor mit 35 Jahren Erfahrung und ich sage, ich mag keine dieser Tabletten oder diese Kapseln. Warum das trocknet wieder? Wenn du hast ein Vata-Problem, du gibst wieder eine Kapsel, das funktioniert nicht. Unser Problem ist, wir diagnostizieren in Schulmedizin und dann wir geben eine ayurvedische Kräuterpräparate. Das ist kein Ayurveda. Ja, wir müssen auch diagnostizieren in der ayurvedischen Richtung. Nicht nur die Medikamente. Ayurveda sagt, Rogamado Paricheda Tadanandaram Aushadam. First, you diagnose the patient and then the medicine. Du kannst nicht gehen mit einer Schlüssel, welche Tour ich kann offen. Erst einmal, wir müssen finden, welche Tour ich muss offen und dann produzieren das Schlüssel. Okay? Dann weiter ist Gesundheit ist eine geordnete Ordnung. So wir weiß, wie der Gewebe und alles ist produziert von unserer Ernährung. Und Krankheit ist eine geordnete Unordnung. Wir weiß, welche Krankheiten kann kommen. Und das ist ein ganz interessantes Thema für Vorbeugung. Und Tod ist eine ungeordnete Unordnung. Wir weiß das nicht, welche Symptome kommt heute oder morgen oder das. So, das ist ein Tod. So, wir müssen alle diese drei Themen verstehen. Und das brauchen Zeit, das brauchen eine tiefere Studium und alles. So, jetzt ist eine halbe Stunde vor, ich habe ein anderes Webinar in Indien mit Soft Power, Center for Soft Power. Und wir haben jetzt gedacht, wir brauchen wieder eine Gurukula System of Learning in Indien, international. Und wir brauchen unsere Support for this, for produzieren mehrere Ayurveda doctors from nicht nur in Indien, from ganzen World. Wenn they have 18 Jahre Abitur ist fertig, gehen in Indien oder hier und mit der Universität zusammen einen medizinischen Ayurveda-Kurs verbinden. Ich habe gesehen in Brasil und Argentina und Lativa und alles ist, they are so far, they kann praktizieren, Australia und alles, aber nur in Deutschland ist ein bisschen, ja, Sie wissen Sie, denn alle brauchen Ayurveda, aber immer ist das Problem, no, ist meine, so das wir muss irgendwo offen sein. And then Ayurveda is highly beneficial in psychology, neurology, endocrinology, and cardiology. So, Vorbeugung der Krankheiten is the Hauptthema, or after the conventional therapy to regain immunity, especially in the corona site, is of Panchakarma is good, reducing modern medicine and cost-effective treatment. That is the next area of Panchakarma. Post-surgery recovery. Nachdem der Chirurgie oder das nur vom Ernährungsplan. Wenn du hast eine entzündliche Krankheiten und Operation gemacht, Chirurgie gemacht und dann wieder Tomatensauce gegeben in der Krankenhaus oder eine trockene Brot gegeben, das funktioniert nicht. Wir brauchen einen minimalen Ernährungsplan. Das kann auch integrieren in der Schulmedizin Krankenhaus. Ja, so ich bin ganz Gegenteil für Integrationen of medicine. This should not to be a fusion of Ayurveda and modern medicine. That is two different paths, two different styles. But you can consult, you can have a consultant from Ayurveda and to work together like in India, not to mix up the two medicines. That will be dangerous for most of the people, because now you see that so many chiropractors and everybody is doing thousands of medical systems, bioresonance, moxa, acupuncture, TCM, and I don't know that how many things they are doing. How can you do that, all these things to one patient? No, you have to be a cooperation with one person to another person. I should know my grandson. I should know my what you call the border. what I know and what I cannot know. And the Schul medicine also should know that what they know, what they need a support from the other. That will be the integration of medicine. Okay, then chronic fatigue syndrome, migraine, headache, polycystic ovaries, dysmenorrhea, infertility. There are so many areas where Ayurveda can help. So what can be done? We can reduce the levodopa in Parkinson's, thyroxine in thyroid problems, beta blockers in heart disease, methotrexate in arthritis. You can see that so many chemical medicines we can reduce with the Panchakarma adoption. Yeah, so again, so I don't want to go all these slides. And the treatments are Richtige Nerum, Richtige Bewegung, Richtige Atem, yeah, Yoga Pranayama, Richtige Entspannung, and Körperreinigung like Panchakarma and Richtige Wissen, Ayurveda. So how it is done means it's not only Panchakarma. You need a Kreuter medicine, you need a Nerung, you need a Dinacharya, you need a Rudacharya, you need an exercises, meditation, pranayama, and a holiday, and so many things you need together, and that will work for a perfect health. If you are fragmenting, when you are immer eine fragment, so site a fragment, it's been vegan, it's been Ayurveda, it's been this, that will not work. It should be together for a perfect health. So this I don't want to go. Maybe already I told this one. And the Panchakarma is always 3 phases. One is a consultation with the Nerung's plan and the Kreuter preparate. And you do this one at 2 to 3 weeks at home. And then you come for a Panchakarma for the Reinigungsmethod. And after the Reinigungsmethod, then you do a Rasayana treatment. So these 3 protocols are needed for Panchakarma. But nowadays we don't do that. We just go to internet, we just search one Ayurveda center, like in Kovalam or in Goa or in Sri Lanka or somewhere, and then we do some Ayurveda treatments without doing any preparations. That will be really create problems to the people. I never take any patient to my clinic that just for Panchakarma for one day. They have to come first, they have to do the consultation, and they have to do the nutritional guidelines. If they can do that, then only I will take into the Panchakarma. So it is a process. It is not one tablet medicines like in school medicine. Okay, and the plants are also classified according to the 7 tissues, 7,000 symptoms and 7,000 plants in each tissues. The treatments are also, Abhyangam is for some of the tissues, the Udvartanam is different, Navarakiri is different, Chirodhara is different. You cannot do that. I need one Chirodhara, one Nasyam, and one this. All these wellness packages are ruining the medical Ayurveda. Good. So, thank you, Sanjay ji. I think that my time is over. And any questions you can also ask. And if you want to share this slides or something, also you can do that. And once again, thanks to Indian Institute and also the Consulate General for promoting Ayurveda in this COVID period. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Jeevan bhai. Can I ask if there are any questions from the people? So in case you have any questions, either you write it in the chat or raise a hand. We can ask it here. And otherwise, the website I'll write in the chat window where you can contact Dr. Jeevan directly if you want. In case you have any questions, that will be ayurvedacare.de, right?
Okay. Ayurveda-care.de.
Ayurveda-care.de. So I've written that website name in case, of course, you have not only questions. If you want to do a Panchakarma close to Munich, in Rosenheim, right?
Kimsey, in Kimsey.
Chiemsee, okay, Chiemsee. So that's a much nicer place. Good to have you here. We're going to switch over to the panel discussion in a few seconds because I see that all our panelists are here, and since we are keeping in time, I'm thankful to you that you could tell us so much about Panchakarma. I know that this is a vast subject, and this is one thing which people can benefit very easily. And today we have heard so much about Ayurveda from different parts of the world. I've been watching whole day different messages from Prime Minister Modi ji and different consulates and all the experts also promoting this. So first of all, let me welcome all the panelists. Oh, somebody's beeping. All the panelists who are here so that we have a panel discussion. The panel discussion is, so I'm sorry, is it still on? The videos? I need to stop this. So the panel discussion is about the importance of Ayurveda in the times like Corona and in 2021. So I see that I start with welcoming people. Dr. Jeevan, I already welcomed. We had him on the panel. Uh, One of the panelists. We'll have Dr. Ulrich Bauhofer. Um, I hope he has a microphone on. Rohit, can you help me put all the people in spotlight? Thank you. It's already happening. It's a magic. Thank you. Yes, I must say thank you to Rohit, Ashutosh, and of course the consulate who has also assembled some things together for us, and of course Indian Institute, which is enabling that we can listen to this platform. Um, okay, Dr. Ulrich Bauhofer from Munich. He's also a long-time doctor who is we had him on the talk on the first day, which was very enchanting to know how his journey from the normal medicine to Ayurveda took him to today's life. He had a very fascinating thoughts about what should be done today because the combination of body, mind, and soul has become very, very important today. Also, the meaning of meditation, for example, he stressed on that and said that this is also very useful to keep peace and health in today's times. Um, Gita ji, I already introduced you with the Ayurveda Unveiled. If you are interested in this film, it is a very nice film. I missed yesterday the discussion online, but it is in several parts, and I think you can buy a DVD or attend the online sessions through this website. The next person I would like to welcome is Iris Hüttner. Hello, namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, uh, s- she is heading the Ayurveda section in the Wellnessverband Deutschland. That means she is Beauftragte für Ayurveda, and she is assembling lots of information on Ayurveda as well as different centers and yoga, etc. since a long time. She is a long time person in the long time known person in the network of Ayurveda and yoga. I have met her probably 20 years back at a fair, which was like an Ayurveda day organized in Germany. And ever since then, I have seen her. I think Ayurveda has influenced her life in a positive way. I hope all of our lives, but specifically also hers. And she has been continuously promoting Ayurveda, not only as a sport but or wellness, but as a holistic science in Germany. Thank you, Iris, that you are joining us today.
Thanks.
And I
Thanks.
see that, yes, thank you. I see that Dr. Anoosha Shastry is also here. Welcome, Anoosha ji.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you. I think Dr. Jeevan was mentioning the organization which has been established in Germany or being established. I think Diwali is a good time to establish such a organization. It is combining the Ayurvedic doctors, bringing all the doctors together, Ayurvedic doctors specifically, the BAMS qualified doctors from India who are living in Germany to make a platform so that the work can be spread and the word can be also spread in such a way that Ayurveda can benefit or people can benefit from Ayurveda in the right way than maybe what is happening as of today. Also, the practitioners, we would like to know more about that in the panel. You are a qualified Ayurveda doctor and a yoga teacher also as far as
Yes.
I know. And I know that you also can dance very well, the Indian cultural dances. So have a very multifaceted person today on the panel. I'm very happy that you are joining us. Welcome.
So much. Very glad to be here. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. We won't take too much of your time. We have participants who are, I don't know from the name, I guess that they are all, most of them understand German, and you guys are comfortable with German. Should I go ahead in German or English? What is comfortable for you? I mean, Gita ji, as of course, will have to be, unless you have learned German quickly now since the last couple of days.
Although my films are subtitled in German and 6 other languages, I don't speak German.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to put a few very difficult questions right in the beginning, and I would welcome if any of you opt or have want to answer it before. Then you can actually, your microphone is on. You can go ahead, and then I have some few specific questions for you. I see that from the development how Ayurveda has come off in Germany as well as in Europe, and some of the speakers also mentioned that it's not about only drinking a tea or only understanding Vata Pitta Kapha or removing Vata Pitta Kapha as such or healing. So there is a lot of misunderstanding which is actually now getting better. And one side, so more people are knowing about this science of life as such, and also the different governments are appreciating that. Also, Indian government is promoting Ayurveda Day in a big way. If you see today how many different people have posted their messages and benefiting from that. And also some things are available, like products are available, which is ghee and Ayurvedic products. So welcome Dimple ji again. Nice to have you here live from Mumbai, right? You're live from Mumbai, or where are you now?
Bangalore right now. I was
Where
in
Bangalore?
Kanakpura 2 days ago when we connected. Today
Oh,
I'm in Bangalore, and in
okay.
3 days I'll be in Bombay.
Fine. Okay. So just to introduce quickly, Dimple Jangda is a specialist in Ayurveda. She also told her story, like how she actually came to this domain Ayurveda as such, and she has become a fantastic and influencer, I would say, in the field of Ayurveda, and also a big, a passionate practitioner of Ayurveda, and guiding so many thousands of people in India in understanding Ayurveda in the modern way of life. So she's helping some prominent people. I think a lot of celebrities are have been your guests, or I would say your patients, and you have been advising them. It was your speech was one of the fastest, but it was one of the most interesting, I must say. I got a lot of feedbacks from people that it was really practical tips which you could give to people, and that interested them most. So thank you that you are joining us today. We have planned around 15-20 minutes of discussion on this panel. And I already posted the first question that Ayurveda is growing on the one side. A lot of people are knowing about Ayurveda. Films like the one which we just saw as a trailer, Ayurveda Unveiled, is showing us that there are different thoughts about this thing, and Ayurveda as a holistic science is very important. What do you feel? Is the message coming differently to the people and to the industry, who I would say industry practitioners of Ayurveda, or is it harmonious as a holistic science? Are people understanding this as such? Do you feel there is a difficulty in understanding this or sending this message today as compared to probably 20 years back? Who would like to say something about this?
May I just
Sure.
very quickly, I will give everybody a chance, very quickly address it, because 15 years ago, I made a documentary on yoga, a very similar one, Yoga Unveiled. At that point, Ayurveda was hardly known. And we all know that, it's now extremely popular. But Ayurveda's understanding and Ayurveda's presentation is, in my opinion, going the same route as yoga has. And there's a lot of commercialization, which does not help the true empowerment of each consumer or student, etc. So we need to know that Ayurveda is first and foremost a science of well-being, which shows us not how not to get sick. And every bit is going towards treatments and products, a lot of it. But it is learn how not to get sick is the most powerful message of Ayurveda. And that should be the hallmark. That should be on loudspeakers on the rooftops. Then we'll have a better, healthier, world. So that's my take on where it is today.
Thank you, Gita ji.
I would 100% agree, because especially at the COVID pandemic, we learn that people who are most prone and susceptible to the disease are those who have some disease already. And all these diseases which they have, one can easily prevent. And Ayurveda gives us just the rules how to prevent these diseases. I think it's also what my experience was. I think outside of India, in Germany, Ayurveda is most popular. And we started here around at the end of the 80s. At that time, no one could even spell the name. But now this has changed dramatically, especially in the 90s, and then with the change of the century. Now Ayurveda in Germany is very popular, but still, you know, there are so many hotels which apply Ayurvedic treatments. And many people think they actually receive Ayurvedic treatment if just a little oil is poured over their body. And I think this one has to understand that Ayurveda is the science how life works. Life works according to specific principles, to specific laws, just like the traffic. You know, when you go to a red traffic light, then usually you stop, at least in Germany. But, you know, if you go ahead and do not mind the red traffic light, the traffic light doesn't mind, but you have to bear the consequence. And the same is true with the laws which govern our life. When we constantly violate those laws according to which life is functioning, then these laws do not mind, but we have to bear the consequence. And the consequences are basically all the diseases which we are confronted with today. I think especially with COVID, we can learn so much, you know, how to prevent disease. And when people are not overweight and they don't have cardiovascular disease and they have no degenerative diseases, because all this could be prevented through Ayurvedic measures, then they would be much less susceptible, for example, to infections. And this is what Pasteur said, you know, the microorganism, the agent, you know, the infectious agent is nothing, but the medium, the territory to which it comes is everything. So it depends what our situation is, how balanced our system is in order to counteract these diseases or to be susceptible to them.
And allopathy, through the pandemic, hardly in America, they talk about the immune system. They've made people forget as if there's no defense in us. So they talk about masks and washing hands and distancing. How about the soldiers that we have within? This is the work of Ayurveda. Keep them polished, keep them rested, keep them clean. They will fight for you valiantly, no matter what virus. I mean, yes, there will be infections that the doctors have to treat, Dr. Ulrich, etc. You know, I'm not trying to minimize all that. There is illness, heavy illness, but first and foremost, the responsibility the sages gave was for the citizens, how not to get sick, learn how not to get sick. This is the loudspeaker message that every keeper of Ayurveda should really toot, not treatments. Talk this first and then give treatments if needed. Empower. Unless I'm healthy, you're not healthy. Unless you're healthy, I'm not healthy. We must know this very deeply. It's not a monolithic world that we should live in. So I'm sorry, I'm very passionate about this, but I give everybody else a chance.
You are right.
That's true. I would like to add one more point here, and I'm totally in agreement with what Dr. Bauhofer said and Ms. Gita Desai said. Ayurveda is one system which looks at every individual as individual entity. It's not generalized everywhere. That is the sole reason that we have the concept of Prakriti, the whole concept of looking at individual entity and respecting that and treating individually. So it cannot be generalized, and we can't call it like one treatment for everybody. It's such a customized and rational, logical science that we have to, it's a tailor-made medicine system for every person, as well as the, it's just a lifestyle, and that comes in such a beautiful way. So yes, we have to
There are
appreciate that
general,
in going on.
but the general advice of Dinacharya, Ritucharya, etc. applies across the board, right? To the Prakritis. There
Yes.
are commonalities that are that honor nature. So those apply to everybody. And if, as Dr. Ulrich said, if those are in place, most likely we won't need much treatment and disease will not be in our lives as much. Today's diseases are on self-help, most of them, 80% of them, maybe more, inflammation, etc. We've created them. So let's not make people whine. Let's empower them, stop them from whining.
You know, to quickly add to what the honorary dignitaries on the platform have been saying, I tell this from experience. I started an Ayurvedic healthcare center 3 years ago in 2017. Today, in fact, marks our 3rd year anniversary. And the biggest problem I faced was the gap between Ayurveda and day-to-day life. Simply because there is a communication gap, a language gap, time gap, and cultural gap, which we need to keep bridging. So what has happened is Ayurveda has been there for 5,000 years. But in the last hundreds of years, you know, during the colonial rule, all Ayurveda and Ayurveda was sidelined as an alternative healthcare life science, even though it was a primary healthcare giver in India. Due to that, there was a time gap. Now that Ayurveda has again come back into the mainstream science and the colleges have reopened, unfortunately, we lost 400, 500 years during the colonial rule, because of which there's a time gap, there's a language gap, there's a communication gap also between doctors and patients. So patients think Ayurveda is something that you go to when all other methods have failed. We have to educate them on a daily basis how Ayurveda is actually part of your day-to-day life, like how your blood group is fixed at the time of Ayurvedic Prakriti is also fixed at the time of creation. And you need to be aware of what your Ayurvedic Prakriti is since kindergarten. Ayurveda has to become a mandatory educational method in schools and colleges, just like how you teach kids how to earn money, how to get a bank loan, how to get a car, how to get a home, how to get a job, how to get competitive. We have to teach them how to be healthy, how to be happy. And luckily for us, Ayurveda is a holistic healthcare life science that talks about health at a body, mind, and emotion level, which is what is the need of the hour right now. Mental health, emotional health. There are a lot of disorders on the rise, and Ayurveda can actually help fix all of these problems with modern science, because modern science is excellent when it comes to research and development. So when I had to explain Panchakarma to a patient on Basti treatment, why Basti treatment was important to pull out the Vata imbalances, I simply took a research report from Harvard, Stanford, Atlanta, Georgia, Maryland University that uniformly said that colon is responsible for 90% of the diseases. Patient that this is why we must cleanse your colon. This is why we must do a Basti treatment or a Panchakarma treatment and pull out the heavy metals out of the body. When we marry traditional science with modern research, then we have something so powerful that can save humanity. And this is what we must do. We must make it a mandatory educational system in schools and colleges, start them very young. And honestly, you know, we can start a new era of immunity, and preventive healthcare life science should become like a way of life, not something that you go to when everything else has failed, like Ms. Gita Desai also pointed out rightly.
Also,
I can add something, because the basic idea of the wellness movement is exactly the same. It's the daily life. It's the balance in between work and lifestyle. It's food. It's sports. It's moving the body. It's the mental relaxation. Always is in the wellness idea, in the original wellness idea included. So Ayurveda and wellness does match very, very well. It's the concept from the Western part. But what is happening today is that it's only a consummation. So people go and think they can buy some wellness. But it's not possible. Maybe you have some, you have 3/4 of an hour, which are very nice, and you get a nice massage and all that. But this is not the idea of wellness. That's the problem also. So what we face today is that we are living in a society which is used to consummation. And the self-responsibility is a big step to take responsibility for one's self-health. And this is not mentioned in our system in the Western. That's the big problem we are facing in all that. We are facing in wellness, we are facing in Ayurveda.
So the keepers of Ayurveda have a very big responsibility in bringing the simple measures and the profound measures of lifestyle, etc., to the public. First and foremost, don't mystify it, don't make it too complex. It's not. Once you live with the powers and the rhythms of nature, they take over. So simple things like waking up well, sit up, all the things that can be brought into the Western context. There are many, many, many things that can be automatically brought to Europe or wherever. Sit on the floor when you're watching TV, open up your hips or breathe or keep your spine upright or cook your own food. They simplify it. I think there's too much complexity. People get lost. People think it's a project that you have to go to a doctor and learn all this and get treated. Simple, I think this is profound common sense. Yeah.
I think this is a very important point because, just as I said, life is working according to specific laws, specific rules. And we, men, have created a world which disobeys these laws. It's not a world, for example, our whole working world is not according to these laws. A very simple example. Until 140 years ago, we didn't have electricity. That means people were going to bed when it was getting dark, and they were getting up when the light came back. And today, people are spending most of their day in their closed rooms, and they don't have the sunlight. And there's this beautiful saying, from Charak, there's this, the disciples of Charak were asking, is there one single measure which could make the doshas in balance, the dhatus in balance, the Agni perfect? Is there just one single measure? And what he said, take a walk in the sunlight in the morning. So these very simple things, and these simple things we have forgotten. We have forgotten. For example, with this the subject with the light, the sun. It's just bringing us so much very, very important aspects for our health. And during the past 140 years, you make a photograph from a satellite, for example, of Europe in the night, and you see a totally illuminated continent. When you would have done this 140 years ago, everything would have been dark. And this is a very simple aspect because the sun is basically responsible for our dinacharya and ritucharya. The sun is responsible for that. And we are not acknowledging this anymore. And therefore we have created a world, especially a working world, which is not in accordance with that. And I think this we have to change. And perhaps I have a great hope, that COVID is helping us with this, because people are not flying all the time around, and they are more at home, and they are have a proper routine of their day. All these different things. I think this could be a great hope. That COVID could have a great chance for changing things.
Yeah, I feel covers every aspect of what you and I have mentioned, every aspect. And this was the objective, is to educate and inspire and inform the common mind about the power, the simple power. If it's not common sense, it's not Ayurveda. It's very, very commonsensical. It's simple, profound. because the laboratories, the research happened for centuries. Harvard may have done it for 1 year. The laboratories were in their bodies. The sages experimented over centuries. Time tested, never changes. Give it to the people. And it is our duty. Keepers of Ayurveda, the responsibility falls upon us, Ayush as well. Empower the citizens by simple measures. That's what the sages did initially. They disseminated into the households. My grandmother, everybody knew the basic principles without getting into research and all. They believed in it. And then they experienced the well-being. That was enough. Today, this intelligent mind is just messing everything up. Simplify things, because the sages have done all the work. We don't need to do anything. Nature is there to help us. Sorry.
Dr. Jeevan wanted to say something.
Yeah, so actually, I would like to tell that there are some aspects of Ayurveda which we are mixing up in the West, because we should know that India's brain is different. Sorry that I am telling like this. India's brain is different and the Western brain is different. You cannot mix up a complex system of Ayurveda and to bring into Germany or in Western countries, because we have grown up with 5 to 6 languages and with deep-rooted Sanskrit and so many cultures and together. So we are very easy to understand or the multiple thinking in India. And that same brain you cannot put, because I have an experience here of 25 years of teaching the Germans. So if you put them like a German highway, one by one, they will understand. But if you put the emotional health, the spiritual health, the mental health, and the physical health all together from Ayurveda in one umbrella, it is very difficult for them to understand. Because there are two things in Ayurveda. One is the source of the knowledge resource, and the second one is the what you call the product resource. India wants to promote the product resource because it's money. Even in COVID, what you see, somebody has told about immunity, and everybody is running around immunity and selling Chyawanprash. For what? Because we have more plants here in Germany. For example, Sandon. Sandon is the same like in Amla, and you can make a Sandon Chyawanprash in Germany, which will be more effective than normal Amla Chyawanprash. You have a Salbei. You can make a mouthwash or mouth oil from, we have thousands of plants here. So the resource of the resource is more important, the wisdom, not the product. So when you, even Ayurveda is telling like that, locally available plants and a universal principle. That is what Ayurveda, because you need this for the resource persons, then everything will be all right. Because if you want to promote Ayurveda, we should promote from the deep root, grassroots level. Because this is a baby in Germany. The Ayurveda is a baby. So we have to do this in a very particular manner. Instead of the like Gita Desai is telling that nowadays we are telling Ayurveda, sorry, Dr. Bauhofer, Maharishi Ayurveda or Rosenberg Ayurveda, Jiva Ayurveda. It is completely fragmented, like in yoga. Ayurveda is Ayurveda, yoga is yoga. We should be very careful about talking such things instead of fragmenting and manipulating such things. Sorry, it's also a critique. It is also to think about these things.
Thank you, Dr. Jeevan. I think these are very interesting facets to understand that yoga and Ayurveda are being brought together by the ministry, saying that these are part of each other. I understand, but already when we started yoga days in Germany, I remember 15 years back, everyone said, no, this is my yoga, that is my yoga, this is Kriya Yoga, this is power yoga, and this is creative yoga, and now there is a beer yoga and street yoga and all these kinds of different yoga people came up, and then they said, why do you want to combine it together? So I said, we are one family, because yoga is bringing a union. And I think Ayurveda Day, they are trying to bring it in a similar way that, okay, at least the practitioners of Ayurveda come together, bring the original science to the people so that people can understand and follow something. Because if I go to a supermarket today, then I see at DM, I see a ghee where they say Ayurvedic ghee. Then I go to somewhere else, I see Shaf's Ayurvedic ghee. Then I go somewhere else, they say coconut ghee, which I've never heard in India before. So I'm confused. If I'm a German normal citizen wanting to understand Ayurveda, he will say that what is this? What is exactly ghee then? So this is one example I just wanted to say, that this is confusing people in one way, and this current activity of bringing all the people together is beneficial. So somehow we should not, like Dr. Jeevan said, we should not fragment it by saying that this is my Ayurveda and I will go here, and this is my Ayurveda, I can go there. There are simple principles which we can follow, and we are trying to follow, so that we remain healthy first of all, and if you are practitioners, you also remain healthy, and you can help other people, like Dimple Ji is doing, for example. And I feel that this is a nice initiative to at least come together and do this. And yeah, your feedbacks are great. I have actually more questions, but I think we run out of time if I put one more question.
Can I just say one point?
Yes, definitely, yes.
Go ahead. With respect to the fragmentation of Ayurveda, because I was involved over the past 40 years to introduce Ayurveda here in Europe and especially in Germany. And Maharishi initiated this. Initially, we were speaking about Ayurveda, but he has talked a lot, and I was involved as a witness with this. He said, what is the connection between Ayush and Veda? And this aspect of Veda has been totally forgotten in Ayurveda, therefore it was fragmented. And what makes Ayurveda whole is the connection, the relationship between Ayush and Veda. And I think this is the greatest gift which India is giving to the world, is this Vedic tradition, this knowledge which is so profound and is based on Veda. And this has been forgotten in Ayurveda, also in practice. I was a little bit astonished when I was in India, and I spent there more than 4 years, that the doctors, the Ayurvedic doctors, they were basically treating people as we are treating them here in the West. They were just giving them some medicine, and that was it. And they were not telling them something about their food and about their daily routine and all these different things. And this is very important. But essentially is the connection between the Ayush aspect and the Veda aspect. As the term Ayurveda says, Veda is the basis of Ayush. And when there's a disconnection between Ayush and Veda, then the whole thing becomes fragmented.
I've covered that in my film, Maharishi's contribution, 20 minutes of it, in case you haven't seen it. His contribution of how Ayurveda was brought to the rest of the world, and it's completely covered in there.
Great, thank you.
Add one point here, adding to the same thing. Ayurveda just says, Swastasya Swastya Rakshanam, Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam. This is from our classics, which states the main aim of Ayurveda is not just treating the diseases in a body, but also to promote the health of a healthy individual. So that is Ayurveda, and yes, that has been rightly emphasized here.
Thank you. Yes.
Just add to that, I just had one last point. Yes. Sorry. The beauty of Ayurveda is that it's a personalized science, unlike allopathy or unlike any other science. It's a personalized science that allows you to design a diet and lifestyle based on your prakriti. There are only 7 types, based on your age, your habitat, which takes into account, the topographic and the geographic conditions in which you're living in. So Ayurveda stresses a lot on eat local, live global, which means this science, even though it has an origin in India, it can be practiced in any part of the world. It has no nationality, caste, creed, religion, ethnicity, country of origin. It doesn't discriminate any human being, because all of us at the end of the day are made of just 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. And what Ayurveda allows you to do is align the 5 elements in your body to the 5 elements in nature as long as nature exists, Ayurveda is going to exist, right? We can be in different proportions of the elements, different proportions of the doshas. And what Ayurveda basically does is takes each one of us back to our state of origin, where all the 5 elements existed in a state of balance and purity, which is why we say Sama dosha, Sama agnishcha, Sama dhatu, Sama maya kriyaya, a state of complete balance and harmony that leads to the wellness of the body, mind, and emotion. So I hope Ayurveda becomes a worldwide phenomena sooner than later. If anything, this pandemic has in the power of preventive healthcare life sciences like Ayurveda.
I would also like to take this opportunity to just say, like, it is everywhere, and to actually cater to that need, as already Mr. Tambe has said, we have formed an association here, and we look forward to join with everybody who have been practicing Ayurveda here. So it is like we would like to give that information, what exactly is in the classic, and also to take the input, what exactly is being practically used. And when we combine that, that is a beautiful thing, and we can promote Ayurveda and create awareness in a better way. That's the reason we have created this platform, Indische Fachgesellschaft für Ayurveda Deutschland. And very happy to share that tomorrow, on account of Ayurveda Day as well as Diwali, we have been celebrating, and we have a virtual inauguration event tomorrow. So yeah, this I would like to heartily welcome you all in this platform for our inauguration as well.
Can you please mention that link in the chat window so that everybody gets it? I'm sorry. Yes. Okay.
Sure.
I've just saw that the Deepika has come, who is an artist as well as she's working here in Munich since recently, and she's a dance teacher as well as yoga teacher. She has joined our event. We are going to have a small session presented by her. I would like to say hearty thanks to all of you. We could not take the discussion too long because some participants are there since beginning from 3 o'clock, but your inputs were really great. From Facebook side, we have a link. It is called Ayurveda Days, and we'll post all the information there. All the videos are already posted every day, and also posted by the Indian Consulate in Germany. And please watch them. Please share that page from Facebook, and also Indian Institute's page if you have liked this event. And we would be happy to have your likes. Not only likes, because only likes may not help, but if you have any experience which you would like to share from the event of Ayurveda, it will be fantastic to have your opinion on that. So please share that with us, and we can improve our Ayurveda days next time in a better way, and also continue in promoting this activity in Germany as well as in Europe. So hi Deepika ji. So namaste. It is a pleasure to have you here, and this is a very unique unique proposition which we are placing to our spectators, just as a closing finale, as a closing ceremony of this Dhanvantari Day or Ayurveda Day today. We are blessed to have your performance. So please go ahead. I'll stop my microphone so that you can continue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjay. Namaskar, everybody. I hope I'm audible and the video is okay. I'm happy to be part of this Ayurveda week. And like Ms. Desai also mentioned, Ayurveda and Indian studies is all about finding a unison between the human composition and the nature and its elements. And I believe classical dance is absolutely matching to this phenomena, that the mind, body, and soul, which is what we try to strive in yoga as well. The balance between mind, body, and soul is what we find in Indian classical dance as well. So I'm very, very happy to be a part of this event. And I will be presenting a short piece called Tildana in the dance style of Bharatanatyam. This piece is generally performed at the end of a repertoire, of a Bharatanatyam repertoire. And since this is also a closing ceremony, I thought Tildana is the apt piece. And I begin my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Sanjay and Ashutosh Bahiti for this opportunity. And please enjoy and have a wonderful week. And please stay safe, stay healthy, everybody.
So, Namaste, Deepika ji. You're fine. Maybe you
Yes,
can see me. Thanks for this lovely performance. What was the music behind me, if I may ask?
so this was a Tilana composed in Kathan Kutuhala Ragam.
I see. Okay.
Composer name is Balaji Tambe.
Alrighty. Do you also practice? Must be yoga, right?
Yeah, so I don't teach yoga, but I practice for myself.
I see. Okay. And how about Ayurveda?
Well, Ayurveda has been a difficult habit to have. I have tried certain things, but not very. It's a difficult habit, you know. It's
Yeah.
easy to just let go. It's like yoga. You feel that it looks easy, but it's not easy. I'll be honest.
Not easy to practice in Germany, probably. Yes.
Also, maybe yes.
Yes. Thanks a lot for this wonderful performance. For our audience, I think they loved it. We'll have some comments afterwards. We have put everything already online on Facebook, but we'll have a recorded better version by tonight again, posted on Facebook under Indian Institute Ayurveda Days. So please follow that in case you want to do that, and share your thoughts about this event. We have a small vote of thanks by the consulate from Munich, Indian consulate, who has supported us in making this event happen, as well as the Ayush Ministry from India. So just 2 minutes message, and then we are actually going to say goodbye for today and wishing all of you a happy Diwali. Uh, have a nice festival for the next 4 5 days. Learn about Ayurveda. See all the links on Facebook, and we'll help you in case you need more information regarding Ayurveda and the practitioners and how you can basically benefit from that in Germany. We had different organizations here which did lectures right from the first day. Dr. Bauhofer, we had Iris Hüttner, then we had Santulan Ayurveda, we had Ayurveda Care by Dr. Jeevan, we had Gita Desai from Ayurveda Unveiled, we had Dimple Jangda from India, and she's under this name. She can be found. She's a proper Ayurveda lifestyle coach as well as a practitioner there, and many different people who supported us in making this happen. Thank you very much, Dr. Anoosha ji, and finally Deepika ji, who also performed this event here.
Namaskar and good evening. On behalf of the Consulate, it gives me immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks. In this connection, I would like to specifically congratulate my dear friend Sanjay Tambe and his team for the wonderful way in which he has gone about in organizing this seminar. I remember when we discussed the holding of the Ayurveda Day some months ago, we were planning it in Stuttgart in a big way. However, the COVID pandemic had other plans for us, and the second wave in Germany put an end to those plans. Nevertheless, we were not disheartened and decided to go the virtual way. The proceedings of this seminar have been thought-provoking, and I must thank all the participants, first for sparing their valuable time, and secondly, in contributing their useful inputs. It is our endeavor to keep the engagement of Ayurveda going in Germany, be it in organizing seminars or participating in fairs and events. The Ministry of AYUSH has been a very strong supporting partner for us, and it was an honor that the Secretary AYUSH took time off his busy schedule to give a message for this event. The Government of India has big plans for popularizing Ayurveda. As you might have noticed, Prime Minister Modi had inaugurated on the occasion of Ayurveda Day the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda in Jamnagar and the National Institute of Ayurveda in Jaipur, which are expected to play a global leadership role in the growth and development of Ayurveda in the 21st century. As you might have noticed from the Prime Minister's speech, it is also an honor for every Indian that WHO has chosen India for setting up the Global Center of Traditional Medicine, which will endeavor to work for the world. The COVID pandemic has brought Ayurveda into prime focus. In fact, the theme for this year's celebration is to discuss the potential role of Ayurveda in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic. There is so much of this ancient heritage which can be applied and adapted to modern times. I'm happy to see that in Germany, some allopathic doctors are using the science of Ayurveda to treat their patients. I'm sure in the coming days, Ayurveda in Germany will command the same position as that of yoga, considering the fondness of the German people to adapt a healthy and organic way of living. Indian Ayurveda practitioners in Germany play an important and a crucial role, and the Consulate would like to play a complementary process in this regard. Your progress is our progress, and your success is our success. On behalf of the Consulate, I would again like to thank all those who had participated in this seminar, which was in tune with the central theme of Ayurveda Day. Namaskar, good evening, and thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Happy Diwali, all of you, and talk to you soon. Keep in touch.